Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Good evening, Anton. Hear you.
Morning for me, but good evening for you. Yes.
Yeah, sound check. Hey there. Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everyone. Hello.
Kenya, Olga, Alena, Natalia. Привет. Hi. Thank you for connecting. Let's wait for a couple of minutes more for other participants. Okay, let's probably start now. And before we pass over to the agenda that Evgenia would lead and facilitate and control and coordinate and timetable, etc. Probably let's just go around the circle and share how everybody's doing. Where are you? How are you feeling? How do you do? Without the plan, because that would be a separate part. But still, so who want to start? Lev is connecting as well. So yeah, I'm still in Barranquilla, in Colombia. It's 9 a.m. right now. Feeling great as well, as usually, 10 out of 10. Happy to see you all. Happy to have this meeting, recurring meeting, the first one in this year. So happy New Year to everybody. I would say productive, purple, conscious, rational, reasonable year for everybody. So great plans for today, for this month, for this year. Happy to see new faces today. Hopefully we will be able to know more about new participants. Happy to see old faces, if I may say so. That's kind of, you know, persistent and consistency, great kind of feeling of that. And yeah, it's great we're doing this. You see, people are catching up. I thought that, you know, in the morning it would be harder to connect, but it seems it doesn't matter. People will still be late, you know, by 3, 5, 7 minutes. regardless, whenever you start. It just happens. It's so human. Human, as they would say in Star Trek. So
Well, it's morning for you. It's not morning for me, for instance.
yeah. No, I know that. That's the very point. So I would forget because before, the last year we used to have meetings in the morning, and although it was 11 a.m., people were still late, getting up, waking up, warming up, etc. And there were a lot of complaints that, well, why should we start so early in the morning, Saturday, things of that sort. And currently there is no such a justification because it's 5 p.m. So you're supposed to have gotten up. So yeah, I'll stop here for myself. So please, who want to continue? Just a kind of brief warm up.
Well, I can talk about what's happening in Moscow right now. It's been honestly a dark week. I mean, in like common sense, because we're not getting too much light, and I can't say that I'm feeling 10 out of 10. Maybe it's like 8 out of 10. It could have been 10 if we had more sunshine, but today was, I think, the first day of sunshine in a while, and it was a beautiful sunset. And actually it made me think that for well-being, sunshine is really important, so we have to remember to take vitamins and get as much fresh air as possible, as much sunshine as possible during the daytime for higher productivity. So it, like in the northern regions, keeping yourself productive can be sometimes a challenge.
Absolutely true. And as a tradition, I think Lab can speculate about this a little bit more. You can pass over, Evgeny, you can pass over the word to anybody you see, like who is on top left corner of your screen or anybody, so that we will just create a kind of a chain and pass over the word to each other.
Yeah, sounds great. Well, then Olga Anderson is in the higher upper right corner. So we're going like this, I guess. Hi.
Hi, everyone. I would like to ask, is it a principal question that we will continue to speak English, or I can speak Russian because Russian is my native language and I love it?
You see, Olga, yeah, I'm sorry, you didn't participate in previous meetings.
Yeah.
So and we had a couple of discussions around this topic, and
Okay.
So basically, to make a long story short, yeah, we decided that we would speak exclusively English. Moreover, it's written in our code. So basically, it's a kind of a rule. Just a brief explanation. That's because we are trying to make those conversations as accessible to everybody as possible. We're already inviting people that don't speak Russian. So therefore, if they are to acquaint themselves with the previous recordings, well, they would need for us to speak English. And as English is spread among 10 times more people than Russian, then we think it's a kind of sustainable and equal and accessible to speak the language, basically the Esperanto, de facto Esperanto of our times, like a global language, common language. So yeah, I hope that it would be kind of an exercise to everybody to practice their English, and yeah, kind of a little challenge, but still beneficial. I hope beneficial for all, because we all stumble across different global contacts, during our work, relationship, traveling, etc., education. So at the end of the day, ultimately, I think it would be beneficial for all of us. So yeah, if you can, please continue in English. Sorry for taking time.
Okay, I will try. So I don't have a lot of practice because of my lifestyle now, but yeah, I will make a lot of grammar mistakes. So just to prepare you. But okay, I will try to introduce myself, and when it will be my time in the schedule, and yeah, okay, very clear rule.
Okay, so let me help you a little bit. So I got you. let me pass over probably to Ruslan, because I'm sure he's eager to accept the challenge. And Ruslan, don't forget to pass over the word to somebody else when you finish. Just a brief sharing of your feelings, where you are, how do you feel, how do you do, etc. Without the plans, because that would be a separate one. Thank you.
Okay. Hi to everybody. Glad to see you again. I'm in Cyprus as usual. So my my feelings are quite good, quite well. I spent in December 2 weeks in Moscow and 1 week in Tashkent, and I returned here like to my home. Was very very glad to come back and to see this sun, amazing weather, etc. All the minuses are not are like some kind of charm of this place already, not the main thing that you are that you have to pay attention at. So everything is fine. Still,
Whom are you passing the word to?
sorry,
To whom are you passing the word?
I think Lev.
Thank you. Thank you, Ruslan. Later, I'll pass it on to Alena. Greetings to everyone. I'm nearby Vancouver, in Seattle, in between the two cities on the Pacific shore. It's about 6 a.m. in the morning, and I'm very excited to be here because SDG Plus is what really excites me. And I'll be happy to share today my goals for the year, which are related to our sort of topics, ideas, and themes we are discussing. And overall, I'm still trying to wake up because I had to work late last night, but I think it's worthwhile to share time with people who are like-minded and feel like it, but also act in real life to implement those principles in our daily activities, family, and our businesses, etc. So look forward to hearing many interesting stories today, and I pass it on to Alena. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Lev. Hi, everybody. First, quick question. Is it only for me? I cannot see Anton. So if you have your camera on, I cannot see you. I don't know if...
Can anybody see me?
No, it's a black.
Yes,
still-
yes, and it's like this for
Sorry.
10 minutes already, so I just want to ask if you're aware.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for mentioning, because for me, it's like turned on the camera. So it's kind of a bug. I'll try to do something with it. So I haven't stopped my video, if you ask. So it was on all the time. Sorry. Yeah, thank you for mentioning. Please go on. I'll try to solve this. Thank you.
Yes, and yeah, I'm Alena. I'm in Valencia right now in Spain, so I'm quite lucky because it's always sunny in Valencia, and we have tangerines and oranges on the trees. So if you will go for a walk here, you will see a lot of green trees with oranges, and it's quite. It gives you some optimism and good mood. If to evaluate my mood on the scale from 0 to 10, I would say it's around 7. Because it's sunny outside, but it's a bit cold inside, to be honest. And if outside it's 20 degrees, then inside it's 15, so it's not so comfortable. But yeah, overall it's sunny and good here. And I will pass my okay, Ruslan. Oh, Ruslan already. Yeah, Natalia, I think.
So I don't know if you can hear and see me. Let's see. Does it work?
It works. Yes.
Hi, everyone. Also very, very happy to be here. Sorry that I missed last sessions, but now my life got way better than the whole last year have been. It's been privately and professionally a huge challenge, lots of changes. Well, for everybody that is coming from Russia or Ukraine, we all know what we had to fight with. So my family was also touched upon that. I managed to relocate my family to Spain. And yeah, still was writing PhD at the same time. So the year was really crazy. And today I'm really happy to show you the first results of my work, although it's like way less than I would expect. And well, Munich is great today. So I'm based in Bavarian Munich, and it's snowing like already 10 centimeters. So all planes are not flying anymore. The trains are not driving anymore. So really quiet here, and yeah, happy to be here today. And I would pass further to wait. Who hasn't been yet? To wait. Everyone, right?
No, we have 3 more guys.
Ah, wait, are they without cameras? 1 second. Ah, they're without cameras. Those
Yeah, they're without cameras, right?
Serge? I hope
It
I
means you
pronounced
should
it.
switch on your camera, Seb.
All right.
Sergey.
Sergey, okay. Yeah, Sergey.
Are you here?
Hello.
Okay.
Hello, my dear friends. Sorry, I apologize. I'm speaking English very bad now, and I'm now working. Now I'm work in Belgrade, and because I periodically disconnect and can turn video now. Блин, как это перевести? Жутко извиняюсь и стесняюсь.
What do you want to say? Yeah, Sergey. So, you're in Belgorod, right? It's the city.
Yes,
You're in
right now I'm in Belgrade. I'm working.
Okay. Why not in St. Petersburg? Because I heard you were there based and working for Rostak, I think, something like that.
Now I'm working in Belgrade because как бы это сказать?
Okay, just because probably let's talk offline. You can write to me, you know, what you want to say in Russian. I'll help you to translate this. You can just probably try to pass over to the other 2 guys we have left, Khalid or Staff.
I cannot understand. I will translate it.
Okay, let me help you. Okay, Khalid, you've switched on your camera, so please go on next. We'll talk in Sarah offline. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Happy to see everyone. I missed our last meeting, so I'm happy to be back. Feel happy. Have done 3 hours of skiing here in Moscow, so feel full of energy. So now driving around Rечной Vokzal to trying to get my car washed, because everywhere crazy queues. So I've been already driving like for 40 minutes trying to find a spare spot to get my car washed. Happy because I managed to find a new job. I've been looking for a job for about 4 or 4 months last year. So I joined finally, rejoined Sberbank. So now I'm working for the ESG banking department at Sberbank. And as Sberbank is looking to refocus its businesses from the West to Asian and Eastern markets, I'm responsible for international business development and currently working on a number of M&A deals in China. So that's about me. Looking forward to our discussion.
Yes, thank you, Khalid. And we had actually Stas left, but he has left. Was disconnected. So probably he'll take the word. Okay. Okay, so. Okay, yes, Sergey, we now understand what you're saying. I think you basically said this already, so that's okay. So let's pass over to our agenda. If everybody agrees, Evgenia, would you please facilitate ours? Who should be the first?
Well, yeah, thank you for appointing me the master of agenda. As I highlighted before, I don't think that we have like a rigid agenda, and I had a few questions from the participants before about the timing, like whether self-presentation should last 15 minutes or 30 minutes. I think that we're quite flexible. What matters is sharing your ideas and thoughts, and I think that knowing that this is the first meeting in 2023, our goal for today is to exchange energy and to get to know each other and to talk about the plans and ideas and feedback on what you expect from the club for 2023, and of course talk about yourselves and talk about your individual sustainable development plans. And I'm also very happy to be here, and I think that I also will talk about myself and about who I am and what my personal goals are. But to be honest with you, I do not want to kick off the meeting. Totally, we have, yeah, I would rather, you know, summarize and finish it. I'd rather be the last one to speak. We have 4 speakers today who kindly agreed to do the self-presentation. That's Alona, Olga, and Natalia, and myself included. And Anton, of course, Anton, wanted to share something new about your project Utopia. So I suggest that maybe we start with that, and then whoever is ready from you ladies. I've seen, by the way, Olga's slides, and they look amazing. They look much better than mine. So maybe, yeah, maybe Olga will, like, you know, jump in after Anton. I suggest that our agenda goes like that. And going back to the timing, I think just free flow conversation would be the appropriate format for today. So you guys just feel free to talk and to share, and we will have a little question and answer session after each of the speeches, and then probably just summarize and talk more about future and our understanding of sustainability as a whole idea. How about that?
Sounds great. But I'm sure just a small, you know, augmentation of what you said. Lev is also ready to share with us today his kind of plans and vision for this year. And probably Ruslan and Khalid also can share, at least verbally, and probably they can use these couple of hours that we would solve and talk. It will kind of push and nudge them to think, well, at least for Ruslan, because he will be able to write that down because Khalid is in the road, you know. So Ruslan, do you think you would be able to share your thoughts of your plans very briefly for this year at the end of the meeting? So spending some kind of time to really formulate it, you know, during the meeting.
You know, here in Cyprus, you may, if you ask if you make that kind of situation, you are just making too stressed to people. It's a lot of pressure. I don't know. Honestly, I feel a bit shame because I really wanted, but I didn't prepare about it. I have, of course, some points that I planned for this year, but I know I will try. Okay, in 2 hours.
Yeah, you can try, or we can make a kind of commitment for you to present your goals the next time, if it works for you better.
Let's make it.
Okay. So then you will start, Ruslan. You would be the first one to present your plans.
Okay.
The next meeting. Okay.
I need
but you can still start writing them right now.
I will.
Not to be like...
No, really, it's a great thing that we have that kind of exercise, because it is a great motivation for me to do it finally.
That was the plan, basically. You know, that's a practice, you know, kind of anti-procrastination. When you commit to create those plans, then you show them, share with the public, you feel kind of committed and obliged a little bit to really fulfill them. So that's the very point. That's the psychological tool. So I think so. Two things. So I think Lev would need to present a little bit earlier, right? So that he can leave in about an hour and a half, right, Lev? because you have some other plans for the day. And we have a hand from Olga. So yeah, please share what you have.
Yeah, thank you, guys. I hope you won't be disappointed, but I would like to start because I have a little bit complicated situation right now. Right now, I have a time to speak normal because of my child, but if I will wait for 1 hour, I don't know what will happen, and I will miss this, golden golden door to present myself. So, Anton, if you don't mind,
Yeah, of course,
I will
definitely.
jump.
So yeah,
I will start. Yeah, because I would like to share with everyone who I am and some short information. But I'm really nervous about my situation that
I got it.
my plans.
No, you feel free. So usually I prefer to listen. So and only feel the void if it is there. So please start. And I can continue, or anybody else if you feel already comfortable. So I can even not present at all today if we need some time for others to present. But I'm always ready to fill all 3 hours. So feel comfortable always. So please, Olga, continue. You are now. Take the floor.
Thank you so much. Thank you. But should I share my screen or you will start my presentation because I sent it yesterday how we will make it?
Whatever is more convenient. You've got the rights to, I mean, technically to share your screen. I think it would be better if you did it so that you could click from one slide to the other slide when you feel like
then just a second, please.
If something doesn't work, I have it ready just in case.
If you have it ready, I will kindly ask you to start it because it will be much easier because I use my phone. Yeah, thank you so much.
Is this right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you so much. But my presentation on Russian because once again I didn't know that our main connection language is English right now. So right now I'm in Denmark and I've been living for a little bit more than 2.5 years now. I moved from Moscow and well, before I lived for 2 cities, Moscow and Copenhagen. Right now I'm in Copenhagen. And basically my main professional point, I'm an expert in government strategy planning, and also I have a nice skills in smart city innovations and pilot testing. Next slide, please. Yeah. Thank you. So just to show you very quickly and very informative, I created this picture, this slide, and I point out for strategy, innovation, special projects, event sphere, and investment sphere. And my professional way was started in 2002, and more than 20 years. So I did a lot of things, and the main projects they are here. So I was my professional way was started with I was in the very nice team, and we created a system of budgeting and results for all government structures. And right now it's like national projects. They call like national projects. I was working with the German Gref in Ministry of Economic Development more than 7 years, I think, something like that. And also we created a special institution for protection and supporting entrepreneurship in Russia. And we try to solve a lot of different cases and try to help business not just to survive, but expand and have a nice results. In innovation, I made also a lot of projects, but I'm very proud of a couple of that. It's like the first one is Open Innovation Project, and it was an open calls project. It was focused that we try to identify the main pains from citizens in Moscow and from different departments, bodies, and then we just created a lot of open calls for the business, and it was like a match between business innovations and and those calls. And the second project, it's a pilot testing of innovation when we find and create a pipeline of very interesting and new innovations for the city, for smart city, and we create a special ecosystem on the government level. We analyze, discuss, and then we made a lot of pilot testing inside in the city. It was different projects in energy sphere, in medical sphere, in social sphere, so a lot of. We made and I was very proud because I created this program from the zero, and we made more than 120 pilot testing. And also I was focused in international relationships for innovations and investments, and 1.5 years in my life I was working in St. Petersburg, and I established a connection. Well, I was based in St. Petersburg, but my main goal was establish connection between Finland, Denmark, Norway, and Russia in Moscow, in Moscow city government. So yeah, it was actually very hard. Like a special projects, and actually one of the special project was ESG, and I created a Green Moscow project 3.5 years ago, and we presented this project to Mayor of Moscow, but some of the leaders or his deputies, they said that there is no money. This project is not efficient for the city, so right now we will not run it. But now, after 3 years, I can see and I can tell that my colleagues, they are very successful, continue this project, and I'm very happy that ESG project live and run in Moscow. Also, I was focused to establish and help for fashion industry, production fashion industry, because we have a lot of contribution of fashion, but we don't have sustainable production of clothes and other a lot of fashion departments. And it was also a part of ESG project. What else? Yeah, I have a great experience in event sphere, because when I was a Minister of Economic Development, I was also responsible for a part of the program of Petersburg Economic Forum for 5 years. Then we created Open Innovation Forum. It was also one of my professional child from my side, but we made it with partners like Venture, a Russian company, and Skolkovo and others. Globally, Entrepreneur Congress in 2014. It was also my proud, because we won a competition, and in final we were fighting with Qatar, who will hold this event, and Moscow won, and it was a great support for entrepreneurs in Moscow. Yeah, well, and of course, right now I'm still like an independent expert of innovation in United Nations organization, and I have another project. I will tell it a little bit later. Mainly, yeah, it's my basically it's all information I would like to share about my my professional line. Please, next slide. Thank you. So how I can be how to say, useful or yeah, for other participants in our community. Of course, if somebody would like to or ask me about my expertise or share my opinion, I'm ready to do it. I'm open for that every time. Also, I can share my contacts if I have some and you need. I also open for that. I also ready to share some actual information, and I would like to, and I'm ready to be a part of interesting projects. And of course, I'm ready to share a cup of coffee if you will be in Copenhagen someday. So yeah, well, and what kind of request I have for other participants? Of course, I also very interested in different contacts and connection. I will be very glad if you will share with me and because sometimes I also have a request for angel on or venture investment because of my new project, and I'm very happy, and I always open for interesting communication and just business communication, friendly communication. Yeah, next slide, please. The last one. Yeah, and this is my main contact, and I put a soft skill because it's connected with my new project, and also my goal is find a correlation between soft skills and ASG, because we with my partners, we are only on the start of this way, and we think that it's very interesting topic how soft skills affect or and help ASG spread like a positive infection. So and yeah, if you really interested in this topic, you are welcome to speak with me, to share your ideas, and I will tell you more. Thank you so much.
I think we have a couple of comments already, and hearts.
Okay.
And like, yeah, let me share my heart as well.
Oh.
So yeah, really very impressive. Thank you very much for sharing. Great presentation. Probably we can even translate it to English so that it could be reused and reshared to other.
I will. I promise I will.
Thank you. And by the way, you've already used the titles in English, so it's already partially in English. So just continue and finish this thing. So great experience, great skills, and a very inspiring project. I would probably love to hear a little bit more about it. You know, about this academy, Wake Up Academy. You said yes. to infect other people with ESG disease or infection or you know, no virus.
Positive infection, I call it.
Okay, infection. So yeah, that would be from me, and I think it would be interesting for others as well. And one little comment is that Lev, and I'm sure he can talk about this a little bit more, and you will probably hear from him today a little bit more about Living Cities Earth. This is the organization where Lev is basically the founder and the leader, and I am the participant, the member of this organization. Basically, it's an NGO, but we're also thinking of creating some revenue generating projects, right? So I'm sure, considering your experience in government strategy creation, in green cities and smart cities, it would be great to engage you in those activities, and we can work together. We have a couple of ideas already, of course, but I'm sure with your participation, we could, you know, foster this much better, and probably engage some other of your connections from your network. And it would be really interesting to know the last third thing from me, and I'll finish here. Probably a little bit more about what do you think about your UNDP experience, United Nations Development Program, experience, because you said you're an independent expert for the United Nations Development Program. So what were basically your obligations there, responsibilities? What was the experience? What do you think about the potential of this program? So yeah, Wake Up, LCEUN. Can you please comment on that? But unfortunately, I see your video has frozen. Are you still here with us? Yes, Olga, probably the connection was lost. Have you heard the question?
I think it was some kind of, yeah, no, that's why I would like to ask you to repeat, please. Because
yeah, okay, I'll just be very brief. So can you please speak a little bit more about your Wake Up, this academy, where you're the director of strategic development? Wake Up Academy, what's in it? Like, what are the courses, or what do you do there?
It's like it's a IT startup project, and the main goal of this project to help team leaders and teams, especially teams in a business sphere, to raise up soft skills. Right now we have metrics system, including the concept of the including 45 soft skills and skills, and right now 15 skills they are ready, and they packed in 3 different groups, and they are ready for market, and they're ready for teams and team leaders. It's like some kind of educational special programs, and we will continue, and this year we will with the different institutions will create a
Olga, I'm sorry. It seems you're having some problems with the internet connection.
Artificial intelligence.
Yeah, probably you can switch off the camera so that it would be easier for the signal to pass. Because yeah, sorry, probably we can hear you better then. Please continue. Sorry.
Is it better now?
Seems so. Thank you.
Is it better now? Right? I can continue.
Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I will just briefly repeat that we have 45 soft skills, and right now we have already 15 skills, and they are separated for 3 different soft skills education program. This year we will continue, and we will upgrade, and we will make all 45 skills. Before that, we have artificial intelligence system. You, like a team leader or with your team, you go through this diagnostic artificial system. This system identify which skills are very good or which skills are not good, and then from this metrics, from this system, you will get a customized special set of skills you need only for you and your team. This is the concept of this project. Of course, we are only in the start, and some of the things are not out in an optimized process, but we are working on that. It's like a main concept, yeah.
Anybody, do you have any comments, questions to
I do.
Olga?
Yeah. Well, it's amazing profile. You were saying that it's from 2002 until now, which is like a bit more than 20 years. Like, this is amazing because you look much younger than someone who was in the business for those 20 years. Like, kudos to that.
Thank you so much. It's yeah. Thank you.
And the question was, you've got such a holistic expertise. So it's business, it's what we call GCP, yeah, like government/business.
Public-private
Government,
partnership. Yeah,
yeah.
PPP.
Yeah,
Public-private
private. You got the idea. And St. Petersburg Economic Forum, events, innovation. So it feels like you've got expertise in so many different areas. Are you a speaker? Do you share, like,
Yeah.
are there
Yeah.
some areas of expertise which you have already, I don't know, speeches, lectures, specifically ESG related? So
Sometimes
what is your like
yeah.
main topic?
Yeah, main topics are mostly about smart city innovations, but yes, I'm a speaker, and I take part, or I held in Netherlands and in Spain. Maybe 6 or 7 times abroad from Moscow. I present projects, and the main topics, again, it's all about innovation. And right now, of course, I can speak about soft skills because it's like a new and very trendy topic. And for example, for Russia, it's only maybe 15% of all market they understand, and they're ready for that. But right now, today we understand that business, they need not only hard skills, they also need very strong soft skills to support business for KPI, for business goals, and so on, especially if you would like to go to the different market, and if you would like to spread and have a very short way to your new business line, new customers. I actually it was a very interesting part of my life when I was for 1 month. I was like a part of in Spain. I was like a part of the group. Mayor of Barcelona was the leader of this group, and we working with the design and innovation changing for the city. We try to create a new agenda, and we try to create a new system how to ask people and how to get relevant results after this communication with the society. In what kind of way you would like to see your city in 5-10 years, and it's also about SDG. How you think about this point? What would you like to see more or less? So yeah, and in that, in this work, I was like a lot of speakers. We were from different countries, and we were speak a lot, and also for different different people, like different groups. It was like 100, 200 groups people. They share opinion. I think that this was the the main and the most hard part of speakers in my life, because you work in the same time in the group, and you present your results for the a lot of auditory, a huge number of people in the same time. With the mayor of Barcelona.
Yeah, interesting. Just to explain why this question, I had an idea. We've got all of us together a lot of expertise, and we could structure it, and probably let me know what you think about this idea. A new format of like mini conferences. Say Lev and yourself could talk about smart cities and about innovation and about urbanistic development all over the world, best practices, cases. You could probably share results of that Barcelonian project as well. And I know a lot of people who are keen on that, and know people from Yandex and other companies who work on digitalization of urban processes and urban living and making it more sustainable. So say, for example, we could, like make this as an event, not just a session to, get to know each other, but a session where specific people would be sharing specific expertise or cases or project results on a very kind of narrow topic. So that's why
I like it.
Would you be interested in something like this?
Yeah, it's interesting. It sounds great. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Any other questions or comments to Olga's wonderful presentation.
Maybe I also can ask a question. Thank you, Olga, for sharing. I think it's such an impressive experience. I'm interested in this soft skill project because I'm a psychologist and I'm psychonutrition actually. So I worked a lot in measuring personality traits and competencies. And I just wonder how you develop this list of 45 skills. So on the basis of what you chose these particular skills, I don't know what's included in this list, but yeah, I'm just interested.
Well, I thank you for the question. I think I can share this list of 45 skills, because we create inside of this system. We also it's not like a random system, because we have a basic soft skills, we have a powerful soft skills for the leaders, and we also have other groups, the third group soft skills that are in the middle. When you will see, you will understand the principle, because we created like a Mendeleev. It's not a plate. Mendeleev visual theme, like a chemical elements. So each separate soft skills is like a chemical element, and if you mix them, you will create a special individual formula for a separate team. This is the idea. And what else? But if you would like to be more involved in this work, or if you would like to have a first touch of this work, I always I'm always happy to introduce you to my colleague and to this project, and yeah, you will have a first layer of information just to understand.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Thank you, because now I have startup with my former colleagues and friends, and we are working on the project for teams, for team leaders, and for teams for startups, on how to facilitate their work, how to combine their ideas, how to use power of network analysis to kind of gather different ideas and create the holistic picture of what's going on in team. It's a bit complicated to explain right now, but maybe one day I will present our project. And we're also interested in understanding what's important for effective, successful teamwork, what kind of skills and competencies leaders and team members should have for their work to be effective, productive, and successful. So it's very interesting. Yes, and also why I asked, because we believe that very often in companies, in organizations, this set of skills and competencies, people just decide what kind of skills and competencies they will measure, they will teach people. And it's not because people actually believe and need this kind of skills. It's kind of arbitrary a bit. That's why I ask how you decide what will include it in this list. And our idea is to collect data from people, collect information from people, and then using network analysis algorithm to actually extract what is important, essential for team, for people, what's their beliefs about skills and competencies they need. Yeah, so maybe it would be very interesting to share our experience.
If we can connect, not in this meeting, but
yes,
right after, I think it will be interesting for us, because if you work for B2C market, we also work for that, but mostly we work for B2B or B2G market, because once again we work with the teams, because team is like it's like the main how to say hub of business success.
Yeah, we work mostly for B2B market. Yeah, also.
So it's very
Great.
interesting.
So keep in touch.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
I think we can move to the next speaker.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah, I
about
think so. But yeah, one last comment, not the question, because it can be endless, and it's great. Dmitry Beresnev in our club was my former employer, my former boss at Microsoft, and it was basically a Microsoft education department. And I think they were creating some kind of a competency model, right? So it's kind of a foundation for any education. So it's a competency model so that we can really frame and, you know, in the same language tag those competencies and interpret those competencies and structure those competencies. And around those competencies, you know, trajectories, pathways, and models for really holistic education of people, like customized education from different levels, et cetera, maybe even some career paths. And probably this would be interesting for Natalia as well, in accordance with that. So basically it's kind of an assessment, right? Maybe automated AI assessment, and then some kind of recommendations upon those assessments in order to tie your career path to your competencies, development, capabilities, etc. So just kind of advice to all of us, all of you who are interested in this, please get in touch with Dmitry. You can do this very easily in the chat. It's free. So, and I'm absolutely sure he would be inspired to share his experience. And currently he's basically continuing to do so, but just for the medicine, for the doctors community. So they're continuing, you know, doing those kind of competencies, courses, pathways, but just for a narrow field of workers, right? And by the way, I think that the company we were working with back in the days was acquired by EPAM, where I work now. So, like, you know, the world is round, Earth is small, and et cetera, et cetera. And by the way, so I'm serious about this. So, as you know, as you're absolutely surely know, HR or education or soft skills, if we narrow this down, is definitely a part of sustainability. So within this ESG concept, you have this S concept. It's about caring about people, at least about employees, and apart from healthcare and, you know, insurance of people, you also provide, you know, career opportunities, self-realization, education, et cetera, and therefore within this sustainability offering that I would be talking about in my presentation later on today, or probably the other day, I would be really inspired to share and talk with you what can we offer basically to, including clients, basically clients, existing clients, and probably new clients of EPAM, right? Within that sustainability offering. Okay, so that's a long shot, but still can't but comment on that. But first of all, connect with Dmitry, because he's like on the ground right now, and he is much more experienced than I am. And, you know, probably 15 years of experience is very relevant. So you'd really love talking to him. Sorry, Evgenia, you were saying something, probably suggesting the next speaker.
Well, actually, I remember that Lev was saying that he needs to leave us earlier, unfortunately. So I think that we need to pass the mic over to Lev at this point.
Great, absolutely for that. Lev, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Eva, Anton, Olga. Yesterday we spoke with Anton, and he aptly asked me, well, Lev, are you ready with your SDG plus goals for the year? I said, well, not 100%, but I was developing last couple of weeks my priorities for the year. So they still need to sort of be more precise, and I guess add some measurements, but I will share what I have today. Let me show the screen as well. Share the screen. Just a second. Before I share the screen, so I'm definitely, unlike Anton, I'm not the person who likes measuring things. I'm more sort of feeling and sensing. If you know the Myers-Briggs indicator, MBTI, I'm INFP, which is intuitive, feeling, perceiving, etc. So it's the opposite of sensing, thinking, and so Anton and I were like the opposite parts of the spectrum, like yin and yang, which is good because we complement each other very well. And Anton's structured approach really inspires me to be more of this in my life. So now I will share the screen. I also support and practice for many years what's called integral approach. Maybe some of us know it. It was developed by Ken Wilber and other thinkers, and integrates different human development, adult development theories into a sort of cohesive model where we see how a person or a team, organization, or larger social system develops through what stages and in which areas. And so I'm sort of both an expert and a student of integral development, and I try to practice it in my daily life. So let me share the screen quickly. I guess that would be it. Do you see this black and white?
One pager, right? Very
Yes.
concise.
Well, it's still. I
It's
had
great,
it in my
it's
mind.
great.
So, right. So I had to put it on paper because some terms, it's easy, I guess, to read them rather than listen to them. So I have 3 large goals for this year, and they are consistent with what I've been doing for the last 4 years, with minor changes. So the first one, because I work too much all the time, pretty much. So I want to spend more time with nature, my family, and myself. And spending time, it's not only about taking, but it's also about giving and caring for. With nature, it's new for me. I realize that for me to be sustainable as a person, as a productive member of the society, it's very important to stay in touch with nature in our sort of more urbanistic lifestyle these days. And every time I go for a walk in a really wild park in nature, it's something really wild, not the small park in the city, but a larger natural ecosystem sort of. So basically, I saw that when I spend time there, I become much more productive. My mind gets clear, and I have more energy to run all the projects I'm responsible for, where I participate. So my goal is to spend at least 1 hour daily in wild type nature habitats, and at least 1 full day weekly. For me, it's quite a challenge, but I plan to commit to it. And actually, I commit to it, and I plan to get as close to this as possible. And I invite everyone who has an opportunity to also follow my example, or maybe share your examples which are more advanced. I also consistently work to minimize the CO2 emissions, basically driving my car and sort of sharing car rides, etc. And thanks to Anton, I learned that the most important contribution of every person is to minimize air travel, which I never thought about before. I thought the planes, they fly without me or with me anyway, but Anton said that's not the right approach, and I accepted it. So now when I think about traveling, I either try to not travel or to induce sort of, distant communication modes, or to travel with other means, train, car, etc. But ideally, cut it completely, or at least make less of it. So I had some specific plans to travel, and I really decided not to do it. So it's a new habit I'm developing. And I thought it will be, very detrimental to my social connections, but it turned out that it's really good in many different ways. I won't spend our time now talking about it. So that was about nature. With family, what's important for me, and I believe it's also part of a sustainable lifestyle, is to share love. and support with all members of my family and friends. So family in a larger sort of sense, not only, my direct relatives, but also people in my sphere of close communication. And it's mostly about supporting them. So I'm an introvert, so I don't need much people around me. But I see that it's important to support people in different parts of my life with, attention, emotional support, empathy, and sometimes intellectual support, and so on and so forth. I have a 6-year-old daughter, so I learn still. It's not an easy task for me. It's the most difficult relationship actually in my life, more difficult than all the dictators of the world. It's more difficult to communicate with my daughter. So at the same time, we share a lot of love and empathy and very close connection, but she has a very strong character, and me and my wife are very sort of mild. So it's a big challenge, and we're still learning. And I want to be not only a good sort of father, but also a good, I would say, not a teacher, but maybe a facilitator of her growth and development. And of course, as I say, I learn a lot from her as well. And the last part of spending more time, it's with myself. For me, as I said, I practice what's called integral personal development. And there are 4 main parts of it. I think some of you know. Number 1 is to grow up, and to grow up for every person, it means to share, to extend my sphere of care. First, we care about ourselves, then we learn to care about our close ones, then we care about people we don't know, and eventually we care about larger ecosystems and our planet at large. So growing our field of attention and our field of care, our circle of care, is one part that I practice. The second one is waking up. So it's called 4 ups: grow up, wake up, clean up, and show up. Waking up is basically, it's the same as the name of academy that Olga mentioned, but in this case, it's really growing to understand the larger picture of life, as Anton mentions in his Utopia project. I think the purpose of life is to understand life, basically, and understand the purpose and objective of consciousness in this life. So waking up is basically about this, how we can both learn and experience a larger picture of life in our personal mind stream. And I do some practices in this area, and what's important is to have them on a regular basis, which I do, basically every moment, which I try to do, to have this clear consciousness and connection with the larger picture of life. The third one is clean up. It's more about psychological. It's working with the shadow, working with our psychological trauma, because every person more or less has it, some more, some less. And when we don't understand it, we look at the world through, the filters of our personal trauma, and we don't see the world, but we see ourselves in all the interactions. So being conscious of this and also helping myself to heal whatever I have is part of my daily routine. And I think we have some people who also do this on a regular basis. And the last one only is to show up. It's basically our action in the world. So I always say that there are many activists, many people who want to do things, but in my perspective, many of those people do it out of their traumas. So they want to really, get something they lack, either attention or sense of self-worth or other things, and that's why people act. In integral approach, it's very important to work on the first 3, and only then to show up and start acting in the world. Otherwise, our actions are always or often informed by things which are not very sustainable. And so I do a lot of things, but only after I work on the prior 3 layers. The other things are less interesting, I guess, for me, but they're important. It's the health practices to support my lifelong productivity. And it includes 6+ hours sleep, because I often sleep like 3 or 4 hours due to the workload. And of course, it's not sustainable at all. So that's my goal, to stick to this particular, lifestyle, daily exercise, of course, and a healthy diet or food and drink. which is both healthy and pleasurable, sort of. That was my first goal. Anton, am I too detailed? Shall I try to?
No, You're
generic?
great. You're doing great, and yeah, please continue with the pace. That's
well. The second large objective I have for this year, and I've been doing this for last 4 years. I mean, in this more or less type of goal, but prior years it was support evolution of humanity through doing meaningful projects with like-minded people. And last year, 2022, I finally realized I had some ideas about it, but I finally realized I'm not the person who has to do things. I have to initiate things, bring people together, create some initial structures, and then see how those projects and initiatives either go towards their goals and become successful or fail if there is not enough energy, for example. And I totally let go of my expectations that all of the projects should become successful. And now I sort of focus on where I see myself most productive, and it's the initiation stage. I love it, I sort of enjoy it, and I do it relatively well. So supporting evolution of humanity, for me, it's evolution of consciousness, which is, of course, reflected in our material world, how we do things, how we organize our life, how we interact with other sort of forms of life. And the key project which I now focus on, as Anton mentioned, where I'm one of co-founders, not the only one, there are 37 others. It's called Living Cities Earth. It's really about developing healthy living systems on different levels, from a personal level to family, organizations, cities, which we look at as living, complex living organisms or ecosystems, but also ecoregions and our planet as a whole. And I truly believe that Living Cities Earth is an example of SDG Plus initiative, because we work on both macro and micro level over there. And Anton is a very important member and the co-founder of this initiative as well. And a few sort of specific objectives we have for this year, and I personally take responsibility fully or together with other people, is to have by the end of the year 100 world-class leaders as co-founders. It's basically people from all walks of life. We now have co-founders from 17 countries, from 5 continents, but we want to grow this network and have sort of outstanding leaders communicating and working with each other on our objectives, which is to help people live healthier, happier lives in harmony with each other and with nature in 10,000 cities of planet Earth. So the second objective over there is to create a action network of 1,000 institutional partners who communicate and have some regular collective actions, whether it's some campaigns, some information campaigns, some learning opportunities, or some events. And the next objective is to have by the year end 10,000 citizen communications. We learned surprisingly that there are 10,000 cities on our planet, not more, not less. That's the number we found through special sort of research. And by the year end, we want to communicate with all of those cities, with their mayors, some business leaders, community leaders, etc., including publishing our journal on a quarterly basis and some other means of communications. And finally, we're working on a few projects, and now we're in the conception sort of stage, developing University for the Planet. Maybe some of you know Pavel Luksha. That was originally his idea, but we also have other sort of streams of projects and initiatives which might come all together. And that's one of the projects I'm exploring right now. And we want to have about 100,000, I guess, participants of different programs, which would be run by this University for the Planet, as well as the 10X Accelerator for Evolutionary Leaders and Projects. So we are now looking for leaders and projects and initiatives which do things which are in line with our overall objective. And then we see that most of those projects are relatively weak in terms of both internal management and organization, but also with external promotion and communication. They have great ideas, great methodologies, but most often those people are not very good with management and promotion. And our objective is to create a methodology which would support them in really expanding their, outreach and having basically much more impact this year and of course the next years. And so that's one more project we are working on right now. And the final sort of third goal is to earn enough income. So I still have some time to earn money, maybe a third or maybe yes, about 1/3 of my time. So I want to earn enough income to support financially various SDG plus related initiatives. So I'd like to also contribute financially to our club, Living City First, and other initiatives which I support. So that's also an important objective for 2023. Sorry to be so lengthy and maybe too much details, but we'll be happy to work with all of us on making this life a little bit better this year. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Lev. Just a brief comment. I think it's an ideal individual sustainable development plan, meaning so it's as ideal as any other. I mean, so it's not worse, meaning that the form is not the priority here. So you have a one-pager, half the page. Ruslan, again, remind you that it's not that hard if you really, to formulate this, to choose those goals, you really need to spend couple of hours to really choose those goals and formulate them. Probably really, as Lev said, in a little bit more quantifiable manner. So Lev, we can all help you to do this. Would be great as an example for each and every one of us. And so two main parts. Thank you for distinguishing them, like what you do for yourself, basically what you take, and what you do for others, basically the give part. So I really like that distribution or classification as well. Thank you very much for that. I think Olga had something to say. You raised your hand, right?
Yeah, that's right. I was looking for this document. I just have a question about co-founders, like worldwide leaders as co-founders of this. I don't know. Is it organization or it's like a special mission, living world Earth or living city Earth?
Mm-hmm. It's a Swiss-based association. We register it right now in Zurich, in Switzerland, but it's a global initiative and global community.
Can you please share the link if you have, or
sure.
Do you have a web?
I'll put it in our chat.
Yeah, thank you so much. And what kind of partners are you looking for? I saw that you put like institution, 10,000 institution partners for different activities. So what kind of 1,000? 1,000. I'm sorry. Yeah. What kind of partners is in your
basically organizations which also have similar goals and objectives. For example, we work on making cities happier and healthier places, and there are many organizations which have the same goals. So our objective is to find all those institutions, but also to bring them into the action network where we act together, not just have our logos, which is also good on the website, but really act in a regular fashion together, supporting each other priorities and programs and events.
Do you have information about conditions of with this in this link, right? Do you have all information? And
not all information, but we could discuss it, and I'll share more, and we'll see what we can do together, of course.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. All right, I pass it on.
Any other comments, applause, heart, thumbs up? That's right.
Yeah, I actually have one comment because I would like to ask Lev, can you navigate us? What is your nearest plan about special, I don't know, maybe a network or event or other form of activity? Do you plan something in the nearest future or?
Yes,
something?
maybe. Well, we have a few things. One of them is we are putting together right now a journal, an e-journal, which will be distributed to thousands of leaders worldwide. And the topic is happiness, happy city / happiness. So if, for example, somebody would like to contribute to it, that would be possible, number one. We have a few events scheduled or now being scheduled for the next couple of months, including LC Talks, where we invite different experts from within LC and also from the outside to talk about some topics which are important for this year. And there are other things. We're developing, as Anton said, a product range which will be marketed worldwide to leaders in the cities, in business, government, and non-profit sector. So there are definitely things we could do together. Let's connect maybe via Telegram and see what needs to be done.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I would like to say that I feel you with your daughter because small leaders, yeah, run our lives.
Okay, so anyone else could share? Evgenia, whom you think should be the next?
I just want to add a little comment to Lev's speech. Thank you very much. I was actually Googling some of the things that you were talking about, and thank you for that, because I love, educating myself. And to be honest with you, this integral personal development is something that I haven't heard about before. So is this some kind of methodology that is applied to your kind of like lifestyle, or maybe to your generally like understanding of the world, understanding of your place in the world? It sounds like religion combination of like religion or a set of beliefs and methodology. So effectively, what is it? And are you like a coach or an expert, or can you kind of like preach this kind of thing to other people?
I would say it's a very scientific approach. As Anton says, science is important. So integral development, it's a system of understanding the world and our actions and our sort of life. It's been developed in large part by Ken Wilber, who is he's still alive. He's about 72 maybe years old, lives in Denver, Colorado, and he's considered to be sort of the most advanced philosopher of our time, at least in the Anglo-Saxon world. I mean, Western civilization. And it's a very, very, very well developed approach, which applies to personal life, to collective activities, to sort of larger systems. And there are many books in English, in Russian, in all languages. I would say the introduction is called, I think it's called integral theory. And it's also available in like 50 plus languages. When you read it and when you understand it, it really makes you more effective in whatever you do, in helping your daughter develop, or changing cities, or supporting SDG plus, because you understand how systems are organized. So if you know systems approach, I would say it's a more advanced version of this.
Okay, got it. Very interesting. Thank you very much for sharing. Integral theory. Yeah, I will.
By the way, I have a couple of ideas. Sorry, I would share because that's very actionable for our next meeting. So as a first step, Lev, you've mentioned about the methodology that's called wise cities, right? And the author and the example. So I see two options around this topic and around integral development as well, just as an example using white cities. So do you think it would be like nice, interesting, cool, and feasible for you to speak about this topic for at least, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, probably with one slide, again, one pager.
Sure,
The less,
sure.
the narrower, the better. Remember, the less, the better. So just for us to really dive into this first methodology called Why Fit It, I'm sure it would be interesting for Olga, namely, and for all us as well. And the second thing is, probably it's an interrelated thing. It is integral development, because you and I have talked a lot about integral development. I haven't read Ken Wilber, namely and specifically. I have read this, I think it's what's called Organization of the Future by Frederic Laloux, something like that. So, but probably it's about the same thing, also kind of a multi-layered stage approach and you know, colors of those levels, etc. But again, so I'm absolutely sure that even if we have stumbled across this term integral development, we all have different understanding for now among these people that are present here and among other participants that are in the club. So if you can unveil and disentangle this term, again, in one pager, one slide, executive summary, 10, 15 minutes, that would be really very appreciated. Then we would be able to speak this language together with you, because I really think those phenomena can be really very, well, basically helpful for us to develop SDG plus and our lives, personal goals, etc., organization. So if we can schedule you on the next time, or probably you can start sharing even something like links and some, you know, documents in the chat so that we can prepare. But let's definitely schedule, and that's for Evgenia, to the next time that we devote some time to this topic as much as Lev finds appropriate and available, because I think we've touched this today, and it would be really very interesting to continue to unveiling and unfolding this topic.
One addition, actually, well, I think for me, as like a noob, yeah, it looks so deep that it could be a whole topic for a separate, not a session. I think that it could be like a master class. So I believe that it's not only about just reading a book, it's also maybe some personal example of how you implement it and how you like implement that knowledge in your daily situations. So that is the request that I would have talking about this approach and talking about methodology, because sometimes you read a book or sometimes you listen to, you know, just idea or an approach, and it doesn't resonate with you because you don't know how to use it. And talking about your daughter, yeah, fully understandable. I can relate to that as well. And I think a lot of people can relate to that as well. So if we could, you know, like unfold it into a whole, I don't know, masterclass, maybe it doesn't need to be 3 hours long, maybe 1 hour long, but just sharing personal experiences and talking about how you can actually use it from day one, starting now, and make your life better, more productive, like achieve better quality of your life or better quality of your relationships or whatever your goal is, then I think that would be amazing.
Excellent. Great idea. Thank you, guys. And let's
much.
move on. There are other people who would share and want to share today. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Lev. We'll discuss the details offline. So, Evgenia, who should be the next?
No pressure to anyone. Who feels like being the next? I think that we have Alena or Natalia, Alena or Natalia, whoever is ready.
Do you feel like continue? Yeah, Alena, you have your camera on, so you receive a little bit more priority here.
I can continue, of course. I didn't prepare presentation, unfortunately, and I don't have such impressive experience in any field like Olga had. So my presentation, I think my self-presentation will be very short. I'm a psychologist, as I already mentioned, and for 6 years of my life, I worked for one small Russian company, consultancy firm, HT Lab, and we developed psychometric tests for personal assessment and selection. So I started as a specialist data analysis and psychometry, and I developed all these psychometric instruments, and I participated in selection and assessment processes, and I wrote psychological portraits and all this kind of stuff. And after 3 years of working there, I became a team leader, and I was a team leader of research and development department there. In my team were psychometricians, psychologists, data analysts. So yes, and after 6 years there in this company, I decided to follow my dream, I can say. And also when I was there, I felt like my expertise in psychology and in general, and in organizational psychology in particular, a little bit narrow. So I knew only topic about selection, assessment, about how to find right employees for particular job, or how to help people discover their skills, abilities, and their skills, abilities, strengths and weaknesses. And I decided that I want to continue my education, and my dream was to study abroad and to work in multicultural community. So I won scholarship, and now I'm in Spain. I joined a master program in work, organizational and personal psychology. It's international master program, so we study in English, and for now I studied in 2 universities. Now I'm in Valencia, but also last year I was in Bologna, in Italy. The University of Bologna, it's the oldest university, by the way. It's almost 1,000 years now. Yeah, so it was I was very happy to be there. And now I'm student, and also me and my colleagues, after I left the company, 2 years ago, we founded startup, as I mentioned already too. It's a startup where we want to create platform, create product for teams development. We have several prototypes already. We finished a couple of projects with different teams. Mostly we work with Gazprom, with VK, with some other companies. And now we are looking for investment for our product. And now we're in customer development stage. So if anybody has startup or works as team leader, you're welcome to participate in our CastDev research. Yes, my research, actually, my interest in sustainability, I think I had it all my life, but I didn't know that it's called sustainable development and sustainability. And the first time I heard about sustainable development goals was actually when I studied. I think it was my first lecture at the University of Valencia, where the professor introduced us framework of SDG goals of the United Nations. And I was very impressed, and I decided, wow, it's so cool. I want to be part of it. And actually, it's my second dream right now because now I will finish my study in 2 months, and I need to find internship somewhere. And my dream was to find internship in the UN, United Nations. But unfortunately, because of some logistics problems, and because most of the internship aren't paid, and in New York, for me, it's not very easy to move there. Maybe I will postpone this goal for a little bit later, and maybe I will try to join the UN as professional, not as an intern. So yes, also my main research interest now, because during my master study, I'm working on my research thesis, on my master thesis, and my master thesis is devoted to mindful organizing and empowering leadership. So I analyzed data from air traffic control management company, and I analyzed how empowering leadership, safety culture, and safety climate create mindful organizing in the company, and how this mindful organizing like beneficial for company to stay sustainable, to operate in effective and efficient way, and stay resilient under threats of our VUCA world. Yes, it's my interest. What's the questions Eugenia sent me? Okay, so what I'm expected from the club? I have maybe several expectations. First of all, I think for me, it's a good opportunity for networking and for sharing my ideas and my experience in psychology. Second, more like personal goal, because now I'm here, I'm in my I'm among people from all around the world. So in my group, we're at 17 people, and they're all from like all around the world, none of them from Russia. So sometimes I feel a bit homesick because I haven't been in Russia for 2 years already. And maybe it's not the right time right now to feel homesick because of what's going on right now. But I still feel like I need to connect to people from Russia. I know that this community is going to be international, but at least for now, there are a lot of people from Russia. So I'm happy to connect with somebody from my own country. Yes. How I can be useful to community? I think I have my knowledge and expertise in organizational psychology, in HR consulting. So I can be useful if you need some psychological knowledge or ideas, or you need some help with your HR processes, assessment, selection, or whatever, or any psychological knowledge and expertise. Also, yeah, also like some help with in terms of psychotherapy, coaching. I also have connections. I have people who can help. Yes, I think it's the main area where I can help and where I can be useful. Yeah, I think that's it from my side.
I have a first question. May I? Alena, thank you very much for the presentation. I see that everyone loves Valencia, so I guess we'll all come and visit at some point.
Yeah, it's a beautiful city.
Quick question. I work on the board of one of the companies, and we have sort of our objective is to help all the employees. There are about 1,500 employees there, to help all the employees to find their sort of, place in life, right? Or the best. And we've been researching, and I was in this area for 20 years in leadership development and this type of stuff. And in this company, we've been looking around for 5 years, and we haven't found a single method which would really help each person understand their, path in life. So do you have some ideas whether such a methodology exists, or it's only approximations, and it's up to you basically to understand who you should be and what you should be doing?
You mean methodology to apply for everybody, but everybody at different stage of development, right now. So I think if we want to help everybody to find their path in the life, we need to use more individual approach. So it's more about counseling and psychotherapy. In terms of company, I think if you really want to help people to at least think about their individual development and how to find path in their life, you need to create in the company of organizational culture of which inspire people to do it. Yes, maybe this idea of mindful organizing I'm researching right now may be helpful, because yeah, on the company level, on the organizational level, you cannot force people to find their path in their life. It's more individual work, but you can create this fertilized environment. There people will strive to do it just because it's something in there. It's in organizational culture and organizational climate.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you.
I have basically a comment and suggestion. So Aliona, is that try to interpret that you're searching for a job right now?
Yes, I'm looking for internship right now. I might go to Canada for 3 months for the internship, but after that I will continue search for the job. Yes. Yeah.
Maybe you can make a lab there. So in Canada, I mean, so anyway, I think you can share, regardless of the location, your resume with me, and we can think of whom we can send that resume, like top 3 people that would be the most relevant to your experience, aspirations, etc., etc.
Okay, it would be amazing.
So,
thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure your profile is demanded right now in many places, and it could be beneficial for everybody, and it would lead to SDG plus goals achievement. So finally, at the end of the day, it would lead to our goals. So
Yes,
whatever the means are. So yeah, let's again connect offline.
Thank you.
Yeah, Evgenia. So I think, yeah, we have Natalia and myself.
We have Natalia, just one little maybe question. So did I get it right that both Natalia and Aliona are currently in Valencia?
Me,
No?
not anymore. I was there 1.5 months. So I left my mother there to handle everything, but I will be coming there a lot.
Oh,
So maybe we can meet
yeah.
one day.
You really should somehow, because like the value of offline communication and, you know, like seeing each other and energy exchange cannot be underestimated after COVID and after this 2020 disaster that we had when we were locked up.
We are forced in the offices 4 days a week. Back to
4?
work.
That's less than 5. That's
They
better.
don't say back to office, they say back to work, as if we haven't worked for the past 2 years. Germans are just, you cannot change them.
That's weird. Aliona, thank you very much for your self-presentation, and that is amazing experience, and it is a very popular and sought after competence. I think cultural development and cultural change in organizations is a very kind of hot topic from what I hear all over the world right now. So best of luck in internship search, and yeah, hopefully the community will help you and will be that bridge to your future, ideal future, let's say. And
by the way, Aliona, I wanted to mention that again, as it was in case of competency model for you know, for so basically for all of us, again, we have Stepan Fedorov and Konstantin Shmurnov in our community, in our club, in the chat, who were, and I think are still, obsessed by customer development. So you can again contact them and ask them to participate in your beta tasting on things of the sort, you know, interviews, etc. So yeah, reach out to them, and I'm sure they would be able to help as well.
Thank you. Ruslan also has his hand.
Yes. Am I right that you're making customer development, and you are calling all the who makes a startup or a member of a team to participate?
Yes.
I'm participating in one startup. Anton knows it, and actually we are on the, I know, very little stage of team development, you know, like even not forming yet. Some kind of everybody is doing everything. except maybe 2 developers that are backend and frontend. So I think we can participate. Me, maybe CEO. I'm called there now like CPO, but it's not like CPO, it's some kind of you are doing what you can do. Everything.
But you are a founder, right?
No, I'm just nobody. In fact, I'm just helping them.
I'm pretty sure it's not nobody, but
the most chief shy officer.
yeah.
No, really, we are just trying to raise money for already more than half a year. And after that, we will discuss, I mean, I think some kind of formalized role in the team. Until
the
that,
startup is great. So Ruslan, don't be shy. The startup is really great and revolutionary. So I personally really believe in it. So, but yeah, if you can help Alona with her task, and it would be beneficial for you as well. So yeah, please work together.
So I'm ready.
Okay, thank you.
Let's be in touch. Thank you.
You can just write an open call in our chat, because there are a number of entrepreneurs, startups there. So we'll just gather the group for you. So don't be shy. Be bold and dare post things in the chat.
Thank you. I'm impressed with the amount of help you and support you suggested me right now. So I didn't expect this kind of kindness and support. And yeah, so thank you very much.
Get used to it. Okay, so Natalia, would you please continue with your topic? We've been awaiting for a couple of months at least.
True. So also, Alona, for you, I posted a link to a startup that is developing actually soft skills for teams, either as a competitor or maybe there would be some opportunity for a collaboration for you. So let me know, I can introduce you. And yeah, hi everyone. So I have 2 topics for today, the individual development plan, which I guess I will start with. Let's see if I can share my screen. Does it work?
Yeah, we can see it.
Great. Yeah, so I didn't have too much time to put a lot of thought into it because this year is still a mess continuing from last year. But major points from the Give side I gathered for me, at least. Basically, I'm changing my job and I'm moving to the north of Germany. Well, basically, I will be flying back and forth. We have private jets in the company, so that is definitely not really sustainable, but there is really like it's in the middle of nowhere, this place. So it's better than driving there 7 hours by car. So let's see how it's going to go, but I will try. Actually, my job will be to instill new work and transform the organization. So hopefully I will instill the remote office and even the possibility to do it not just 1 day a week, but at least like 2 weeks in a month. So let's see how I'm gonna handle it. And basically, change strategy, team inspiration, internal coach capacity. So the ones who don't know me, actually, I haven't really introduced myself fully. So I was one of the, actually, my career almost started with Anton. So Anton was my third employer, actually. And it's really great how life keeps bringing us together, let's say, in different facets. So that's why I guess I have this mindset that I took over from you. I don't know how many years ago it was, 13, 14. So really, really long time ago. And basically I've been working in digital, in transformation. So also Anton was the one that pushed me into digital, into SEO optimization. So really like opening the fantastic door of transformation of digital and of remote to a certain extent. And since then I was basically doing transformations, coaching, scrum mastering, and digital transformations in IT, for big companies mostly. And through basically that coaching role, I figured out that there is a lot of need to explore. And originally I wanted also to create a startup that would support individual development journeys for the employees or just for humans in general, because I realized realized that at BMW, where I was working a couple of years ago, we had like 30,000 people that didn't update their skills, and they were just useless, and we just kept them because we couldn't kick them out because the German legislation doesn't allow firing people. But basically, they were just drinking coffee and putting data from one Excel to another Excel, from one system to another system. And it was really painful for the company, but we couldn't do anything. So I was thinking, okay, I'm just going to create a startup that would upskill people, and people will be happy to upskill. And the companies will pay me a lot of money, and I'm going to be the next Amazon. But then I started to do cost dev, and I figured out that actually people don't want to develop themselves at all. And most of their development happens, well, somebody called me, like back then I met Anton through a friend of mine, and it was like, okay, do you want to learn digital? So that happened like that. And most of the people I interviewed around 200 people. And they also said that it was either someone, a mentor, that said, oh, here there is a position for you, or hey, this is what you could try, or hey, I'm going to this university, do you want to go with me? It's next to our apartment, or something like that. So really everything was happening by coincidence. And when I figured that out, I thought, okay, I'm just going to do a PhD. I'm just going to research how it actually happens from the scientific point of view. And I tried, of course, to link it with my job, because as I'm financing my family, I cannot just take like a couple of years off and be without the job. So I tried to find a project at my current company at BMW that would fit that vision of mine, and BMW couldn't offer me that. So I had to switch to Volkswagen. And there I was a part of this skills development project, like 5% of my capacity, because I was transforming HR to an agile organization in the past 1.5 years. And basically, I was a part of so-called action research project, and I was planning to write papers, but due to the war, I had to put everything on hold. So now my plan is to finalize 2 papers. But another thing is that I have to relaunch action research, because I'm moving to Volkswagen Bank now from the 1st of March as a team lead this time. And I hope that I will be able to relaunch that thing, and I will be able to continue with the skills identification and team development, and basically individual path planning. So that's from the give side. And from the take side, I'm not sure it's perfect, so please correct me. So for this year, the one who knows me, especially Anton, you know that I'm like super disciplined and well, basically also leading a very introversive life. So I decided to relaunch and expand social connections this year. I don't know if that's going to work, but I'm trying to. I will just continue my exercising. That's not a big deal, but I want to go back more to lifting, because I realized that because of running, I somehow gained a lot of fat mass. I don't know why that happened. Actually, I would appreciate some tips, because I thought that cardio is also quite good and it will support my shape, but my shape got slightly worse, I would say. So I gained 2 kilos, not bad, but just strange. And then I have a career coach who I pay a lot of money, but she has been super supportive, and basically skyrocketed my growth as well. And we realized that there are like 2 things in me, in my personality, whatever it was, a childhood trauma or whatever, that really make my life miserable. And those 2 things are very painful. And those are also the reasons why I'm actually not so social, because when they go out, then I'm like a disaster and a monster. So I have to look in the mirror this year, and I have to deal with them. So basically from the actions, find the gym, continue studying Spanish, well, also because of Valencia, and this changing attitude based on the results of the achievement of this 2 things identified with the coach. So this was my ISDP feedback. Was everything correct, or I should improve some points?
As I'm sure every coach would say, there is no correct or incorrect version. So yours is as ideal as it could be. It all depends on yourself. Thank you for reusing the templates. So it's kind of, I hope it helped. It was helpful, and that kind of discipline thing. So I thought of it as only one of the possible focuses.
but probably it's very representative that probably for anybody, that could be some kind of a self-discipline approach this year, because basically we're all very, you know, educated people and probably understand consciously long ago what should be done. But for some reason, we're still not doing that. And this is the trick, this is the issue, and this is the challenge, how to basically trick your own body to be compelled to do it without too much stress, because that would lead to, you know, the reverse in your basically discipline as well. So basically to make it efficient. So thank you for mentioning that. And Alona has a hand, please go forward.
Yes, just small comment. I saw yoga in your action plan, and actually my roommate is an excellent yoga teacher. His name Drew, and he's from America, and he organized yoga in Valencia. So when you're in Valencia, you can go each Sunday in the park, and actually each Saturday, and tomorrow on Sunday I will go to do yoga with him on the hill. So sometimes they also organize events just to go, and it's a good way to socialize with people, because I'm very introverted too. But once per week, it's okay to go outside to do yoga together with other people, and yeah, to have some nice picnic, because they're amazing people who are also very in sustainable lifestyle and in developing themselves. Yeah, it's one tip about Valencia. And the next one, I also can see in your action plan, continuing studying Spanish. And it's also my goal for this year, because after 2 years in Valencia, my Spanish is still not so good because all my communication in English. So feel free to have lessons together. Maybe I have some online teacher and she's excellent teacher. Okay. So maybe we can have some lessons together. Yeah.
I'm very surprised. So your first point, I would say that yoga is just perfect, because during the yoga, you are very introversive because you look into yourself. So that's why I love it as well. And to the second point, I'm very surprised you managed to survive without Spanish, because I've been there like 1.5 months. And I learned Spanish, I think now to B2 level, because neither in Ayuntamiento or Policía or any other official place, they were speaking even a bit of English.
I can understand a bit, and I can speak using my gestures and smile, and I can explain something, but maybe it's not so perfect to, to have meaningful conversation with some people outside Ayuntamiento. So yeah, I'm talking about this level of Spanish.
Okay, muy bien, muy bien. Let's
very nice.
Okay. I have started living in Colombia for 4.5 months. I'm very poor in Spanish, but I don't suffer from it at all. I don't know why. Nobody speaks Spanish, speaks English here, but somehow it's not a problem at all. I don't know why, but still, probably can share some experience how to deal in a Spanish-speaking country with us talking Spanish. Oh, and that's the second part of your presentation.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, so basically regarding Spanish, a little tip, I'm using Duolingo since now I have a 554-day strike today. And well, basically I landed at B2. So that's, for me, it's perfect. So feel free. And yeah, so this is the part of my work. I won't show you all the slides because this is what I used actually in my university. So I'm officially a PhD student in Austria because the German universities didn't want to recognize my German master degree because it was just from the college and not from university. So they were really arrogant with regards to that. But Austria was like, okay, come here. And by the way, the PhD costs 30 euros a semester in Austria. So I can recommend it to everyone. If somebody was ever thinking about decent PhD program in English, Austria, University of Innsbruck, 30 euros per semester. But for European passports, and I think for other passports, it's a bit more expensive, but it's still not like as expensive in the US. So, and basically, external PhD project in sustainable talent management. So basically why I also joined Anton again, because during my research, I stumbled upon sustainable careers notion from my second supervisor. I have two. And sustainable careers is an official scientific term definition that is used. And I had no idea before I started to do my research, and I was really happy that I discovered it. And I am trying now to dig towards sustainable talent management, basically. And I will show you what I found from the theory. I will show you how I set up my project, which I need to relaunch right now after March, after I change my job. Let's hope my boss will not be scared. And some feedback. No feedback. I will ask you for questions in the end. So basically, the whole definition of talent management, employability, again, another very popular term in the scientific circles, and employee voice as well, for the ones that haven't heard it, also very popular, especially from the works of Wilkinson. And I will start with the definition first. So there is still no clear definition of talent. I was shocked when I heard it. I was literally shocked because I couldn't imagine that the word talent has never been defined yet officially in the scientific circles. Although one of the talent scholars, Nikki Dries, she has been in that field since 50 years, and she argues right now that, come on, let's just say talent is defined and let's stop like beating about the bush. But still, there's always there and there a scientist that rises and says, no, talent is not defined yet. So very difficult to actually figure out which definition to use, but I decided to use in my work Collins and Melahi from 2009, quite a long time already. They defined it. So basically, strategic talent management in this case is everything to identify key positions, to contribute to organizational sustainable competitive advantage, and here is the big but. This definition involves only the talent pool of high potential and high performing incumbents, where you can already see no diversity, no inclusion. And this is where I'm coming up right now. So this is basically the work of Nikki Dries from last year, where she argued that this is the formula for talent. And the reason why scholars cannot agree on one talent definition, because actually there are different philosophies and there are different, let's say, ontological, epistemological ways how to look at talent. And if you look now at these four squares, it is about this discrepancy between inclusive or exclusive talent management. Most of organizations, I think 75%, are driving only exclusive talent management, which means we only consider top performance as talent. All the other people are not a talent from the view of organization. And I had fantastic discussions this year, powered by this knowledge, with my CHRO, where he was pushing the initiative of inclusivity. And I told him, Rainer, we are running exclusive talent management. You cannot say in LinkedIn that we are inclusive, because basically we are not. And he was really shocked, and his face was red and he was not really happy. And the same thing is with innate or developed. There is a philosophy that only says that the talent is innate and that's it. Or other philosophy says that you can develop whatever you want. And this is why you cannot really figure out how to define the talent, because those four are really contradicting. But well, it's important to know. So I chose agile organization basically for my research, because this is really fantastic paper of, actually, I don't remember how to pronounce the word correctly, the name correctly, Holbeche, no idea. But she wrote a fantastic, it's actually even a book about agile organizations and how they are in the end, where she includes and kind of puts the equality sign between agility and growth of talents, between agility and organization that builds capacity, and between agility and actually sustainability of career. And this is really great to see. And on the other hand, the same Holbeche Linda, she mentions as well employee involvement and participation. So basically, agile organization is the one one that gives voice to employees. So employee involvement and participation, employee voice, it is all the same thing. It is also called EIP. So when you hear it, it's really kind of scholars are using all those terms just in the same sentence, let's say. And basically, when we talk about agility, I have a feeling, and again, Anton, thanks a lot for this Lalu Reinventing Organizations book. It was, as always, it gave me a great push. I realized that actually agile coaches and the whole agility thing is nothing but the opportunity to bring organization up over the spiral dynamics. I mean, spiral dynamics can be used in a very esoteric way, but it is also nothing but going up to the teal organization, if we look at the organization as a whole. And basically all what I've been doing, so I realized last year that all that I've been doing in my life, career life, as agile coach, as scrum master, I've been bringing teams towards teal organization, basically nothing else. And I was like, on the one hand, proud of myself. On the other hand, I realized that there's a lot of gaps that I still have and that I'm not doing with the teams. So again, this employee voice, it's the same as employee involvement and participation. So the whole agility, it is there to give the employee right to choose, right to develop themselves, right to be proactive, to move away from the red organization where employees are given the checklist of the tasks that they have to execute and they can go home. And basically this relation between employee voice and talent management is crucial in order to actually enable people to develop themselves. Because otherwise, if there's a checklist, people just do the checklist and they don't need to develop themselves. And basically the whole notion of this employee development then is linked to employability. And this is where I'm coming slowly to the sustainable careers, because employability, what it means that the employees can find job and they can be employable even beyond the organization. So not only that they help organization to be competitively great because they the employees have the right skills in order to compete with other companies, but also even if they leave an organization, they can still find the job. And this is what not was happening in BMW, because people, if they would leave the BMW, they would never be able to find the job because their skills were outdated. If I'm too fast, please raise a hand. And basically, here is when I'm coming to the sustainability. So I discovered that sustainability in careers means that basically individuals are resilient, not within the organization, but also outside of organization, and that there might be concepts actually that when a company develops their employees, also thinking that employee might leave, but the whole goal is to develop the employees that they will be able to bring value outside of organization and contribute to the common goal, to the betterment of society. So super sustainable actually. And yeah, this is what was the literature review, let's say. Do you have any questions now to my literature review, which is already 1 year outdated?
I'm already making an executive summary of your work. So expect it to be posted. No, I'm serious. So let's probably connect together with Yeva and think of it, how we can make it a kind of a summary and where it can be posted and promoted.
Okay.
Probably leading to your profile, your, more detailed materials where people, or books, links where people can learn more. But still, as an executive summary, because like 3 key things I think can be pointed out in any situations, and that would be beneficial for everybody. Yeah, sorry for interrupting. Please continue.
No, you were not interrupting. I actually asked for feedback. So I have executive summary because I started to write a paper. So that's a good idea. But the paper is not finished yet. So I'm not sure how, like, if the people are interested, but they can just always ask me. But yeah, if there's no more questions, I would just tell you a bit more what is the whole thing and how I started. So it's a bit more theoretical about action research. No, actually not so theoretical. So CARIAD is 100% daughter of Volkswagen Group. And the goal still is to do everything which is related to the brain of the car, basically. So all ECUs, so actuators, and the whole digital part. Yeah, so basically the brain of the car is developed by CARET. And the strategic pillar that we have is Go for Best Talent. So we have been vacuum cleaning the market to get the best talents from all the companies we could get. The major activities related to that was searching for the talent, but also developing skills, competencies, upskilling, succession planning, ensuring the fast growth, and so on. And this is where I thought, okay, I'm just going to pitch this slide deck to my CHRO to see if I am allowed to do my PhD project. And basically, well, why me? Because that's my current job and I have experience, and I have already tried to create a startup, so I have background. And the research questions, so this is something that will show you what you will be hopefully able to see in 1 year when I manage to get my brain into that and just write. So the first thing that I need to cover is the literature gap. Unfortunately, it has never been explored how talents actually participate in talent management. I was again surprised. So I have to cover the way how employees are allowed to contribute to their development. And for that, as I said, I gathered quite a lot of information, and the information is not really great. I will come back to that afterwards. And this will be my first question. So this will be my first paper. And then I want to research how can actually organization define talent path to future-proof, on the one hand, the organization, but on the other hand, also the employability, and provide employees with a sustainable career path. And from the third perspective, this is still TBD, but I think I will explore how sustainable talent management can promote inclusive career path, because right now it's more exclusive, but that is still TBD. And basically, yeah, so this is the research canvas. I think I'm gonna go over it. And so how did I proceed this year in the time that I had? I started with the goals, then I went to personas, questions, interviews, evaluation, basically classical design thinking. If somebody doesn't know design thinking, let me know. It's basically the framework how to create a customer-centric product in the end, and I'm a fan of it, and that's the framework I'm always using, even when when I'm talking with my mother, so she's my persona very often. So goals, basically solve a problem and contribute to science. This is my goal, so that's it. Nothing else is important. So then the timeline, how we measure outcome, so this is also not that important. So personas, I had 3. Talent journey mapping. So I had the persona of the talent itself, and then I created a talent journey basically of like positive experience and negative experience. And as you can see, most of experiences after the interviews that I did in my company were quite positive. And here is the approximate persona of the talent. But again, my company considers talent only to be the happy 5% of the employees. So yeah, that's not really inclusive, I would say. Then I had the talent business partner. So this is an HR human that is trying to make the employees happy. And here, as you can see, I didn't finish, but yeah, I really didn't finish, sorry. Yeah, I just got some insights, but basically most of HR business partners were complaining about the tool, and that was actually what I wanted to do in my startup. I wanted to develop a fancy tool with AI in the backend that will do some suggestions. And actually the tool that we use in CARET is Degreed, and this is something that I wanted to develop. So basically a recommendation engine for different courses, but it doesn't work as actually I would imagine it to be, but it is quite helpful for talent business partners, I would say. And the third persona, surprise, surprise, disciplinary manager, because HR very gladly pushes the responsibility to manage employees to disciplinary manager, even if they have no skills, no idea. And you can see they have a lot of pain points here already. So, but like it's a lot of expected from them, but they have no idea what they have to do. And I spoke with some managers, and yeah, it's hard to be a boss. So now I'm gonna be one myself, and at least I know what to expect. Yeah, so basically the questions that I was asking was, what do you consider a talent? What our company considers as a talent, development progress, opportunities, and literally my I don't know, most crazy thing that I learned is that depending on the language that you use, people give you different answers, because talent in German has a different meaning than talent in English. Just unexpected. So in Germany, talent is something that you have as a person that you're born with, and it's like either you have it or not. So already in German language, the connotation of talent is already innate. And in English, if I would ask my colleagues in English, talent is something that you can develop. So you see, already the language is basically not letting people develop themselves. Just unbelievable semantics, really crazy. So, and then basically, yeah, I did interviews, still in progress, so moving target. And I would say, yeah, this is, if you're interested in the papers that I read, you can make a screenshot. And if you want some to see some papers, I can shoot it over. I'm using Panda, by the way. It's like a plugin in Chrome that helps you to find papers. And now, thank you, and shoot your questions.
I would like to start. Thank you so much, Natalia. Very interesting. And to continue your last interesting definition about talent German English, I would like to say, like a Russian person, that the truth is always in the middle. So because 2 days ago I read one of the latest research about that a little bit less than 50% of our talent, if we can call it, or skills, it's our DNA. It's our genes from parents, grandparents, our family line in total. So you already got some kind of numbers of some kind of talent points, talent things, and a little bit more than 50%. It's like growing your talent in a circle, in your daily life circle. I mean, school, university, friends, family, because in the end, it will be the most powerful thing that will let you grow up your talent from your beginning, from your zero, or will push you down. And I think that, yes, talent mostly is something we can work with. So it's just my comment. And my question, for me personally, it will be very interesting. I don't know, maybe you already put it in your research, but I know that companies and business, if we talk about talent, especially talent management, talent management is supposed to work with a hypo and high pro. It's like high potential and high professional, and hypo and high pro, they are also different sphere to sphere. I mean, business to business. And talent management, perfect talent management, I think that should first know organization and business from inside, just to second step to identify what exactly talent hypo and high pro he should put in his circle, in the frame of organization, just to how to say, to make business successful. So, and my question is, if you, for example, if you will put this small research or something information about this connection, it will be very interesting.
Well, thank you for your point, Olga, but this is exactly how I started my research. We cannot limit ourselves just by saying, just by genetics. There was some research. So on the one hand, there's genetics. On the other hand, there's like the talent philosophies. And this square, which I've just been sharing, this is exactly that. You, as a social scientist, unfortunately, this is very different to engineering or physics. There is a law and you follow the law. But in social sciences, you choose your talent philosophy. You choose your ontology or epistemology. So you cannot just say, I in my company, the talent is a high potential. Yes, if you choose it, but I can create a company where I say, in my company, we believe that talent is inclusive. So everybody in my company is a talent, and I will be right as well. So this is exactly the difficulty. So it doesn't matter the genetics, doesn't matter if it's hypo or not, because I can choose. And this is what makes also my work super difficult, because I have to choose, unfortunately, whatever my company will say. So even if I want to research inclusive careers, if Volkswagen says, sorry, we only work with high potentials, then I cannot really go into direction of sustainable talent management. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, I understand. Thank you. But my second point, if you want to change the world, even the world of the company, you can do it if you understand the system from the beginning. No, is it so hard?
Not in the frame of research. Action research means that I have to comply to the definition of my company.
Yeah.
So yes, of course, after I have my PhD, I will be able to research on whatever I want, but now within the PhD, within the action research, I must choose the definition of my company. But you're right, absolutely. If I want to change the world, and this is why I am a change manager, of course, I will try to say, hey, guys, in Volkswagen, let's think of all our people as talents. But let's see. Thank you for your question.
I also have a question. Well, thank you very much. It's mind-blowing. There are so many insights. I specifically liked, as an expert in intercultural communications, this difference in perception of talent in English and German, even though these are like really closely related languages. So where is the secret? I have to think about it myself, and I have to, I don't know, Google something, but thank you for bringing it up. You had this notion of a discipline manager in your research. What exactly is that, and how is it different from culture to culture and from organization to organization? And if we're talking about this on like a higher level, how does discipline talk to talent? How are these two concepts related, interconnected, and inter-influence each other? So, I mean, if we assume, for example, that talent is something that can be developed, then the key success factor is this self-discipline. So if you can make yourself, I don't know, repeat something over and over, and then jumps in this rule of 10,000 hours. Yeah, if you invest 10,000 hours into something, then you will probably become successful in this area. So is this true or not true? And what are your thoughts and your, I don't know, discoveries in this intricate interrelationship between the concepts?
So I have to disappoint you, Eva. Disciplinary manager means just руководитель. So it has nothing to do with discipline. It means your direct manager. But with the 10,000 hours, when we're talking about the talent which is not innate but developed. So yes, if you follow the concept that the talent can be developed, then 10,000 hours is one of the, actually, even in the scholar world, even in the scientific world, they also talk about 10,000 hours. So yeah, basically, yes, you're right. But again, it depends on what talent philosophy you want to choose.
Okay, so
sorry for interrupting. I will just make a disciplinary comment. So let's decide, and I think it's a kind of tacit knowledge and implicit knowledge. Let's look at the hands that are raised and try to keep the cue according to the sequence of the hands raised. So now I would strongly suggest that we listen to Aliona, because I think her hand was the first to be raised. So
yeah, sorry for jumping in.
Yeah, so just let's decide to try to pay attention in the future. So Aliona, and then Olga, because you again raised your hand. So yeah, Aliona, please.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. Natalia, thank you very much for sharing. And I think the topic of sustainable employability is very interesting for me. And we talk a lot in Bologna, actually. I think professors, they are very interested in sustainable employability. And it was one of the key topics there. So I'm very, your theoretical introduction was very, at least for me, easy to understand. But I didn't clearly understand methodology. So it's more like qualitative methodology. It's more about interview. It's not quantitative one. And also, what do you mean by action research? Because in my understanding, what I understood question research is, it's very participative approach. When you kind of intervene, then you conduct intervention in the organization and conduct your research along the way. So am I right?
Yes.
You're
Yes,
doing
you
some
are.
intervention, and
Yes.
so yeah, can you maybe explain a little more about the methodology?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am really doing, as a change manager, I was part of the project and I had to solve a problem, how to measure skills in the company and how to develop employees with their skills along the pipeline. And the project that I was working for 5% in, we implemented the tool Degreed, which allows employees to write down their skills and which allows the HR BP, talent BP in this case, and disciplinary manager to look for courses, which Degreed also suggests with their whatever AI engine. I don't know what they're using exactly, probably MongoDB, but you never know. And as I was a part of the project, I was configuring what kind of skills database we will use, because during the research, we figured out that there are like at least 6 different skills databases existing in the world, and skills are grouped and linked differently. And then we figured out how to link that to our job profiles, which we had in our company, and to our competency profiles, which we had in our company. So I wouldn't say that I had like massive impact in that project because I was not leading it, but I could like push my colleagues, especially with this metrics, to overthink how they actually treat talent, if it's inclusive or exclusive. And this is what I mentioned, that I managed to open this blind spot to our CHRO, telling him, hey, we do exclusive and that's it. Otherwise you change it and then we can like say that we do inclusive. So those were the things that I managed to change. And as I said, as I'm switching the company, I will be the head now, so I will have much more opportunity to impact that.
So you conducted interview before and after changes, or on the after changes? Or
Before and after implementing the tool, yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. It's great that people know what I didn't know what action research is. And I'm always happy that there are some people that know it.
Yeah, because I'm more in academics right now.
Yeah,
so
yeah, that's great. That's great.
So Olga, would you jump in? Olga, are you with us? Okay.
Yeah. I'm here. I'm sorry, I have some kind of problems with the connection.
Olga mentioned before that her kid might be waking up, so I guess that this is the situation that we're facing, right?
Also that, yes. Two problems in one, but I'm ready. Yes, so I'm sorry. Can you repeat the?
We can hear you.
Have your hand raised.
Okay, so yeah. Olga, probably if you want to ask some question or make a comment, you can just write it. And I can, vocalize it for you, so that we make it more visible.
Maybe somebody else has questions to Natalia, because this topic seems to resonate with lots of people, and actually, yeah, it's very interesting.
I think we could just make again decide to how to better make it with Natalia the summary, and try to populate her study, because I'm convinced it's very interesting. For me, it was it was eyes-opening and fruitful, and adding to my knowledge base, at least partially. And yeah, so thank you really for that. As I always say, probably every meeting, we come to the meeting consciously or subconsciously presuming that we more or less know things, But talent management, you know, I was the leader of talent management for a couple of years in Sver, so I thought that I knew some stuff, but currently I understand that really for me, some notions, some words that you've used in those philosophical approaches are really, well, again, adding to my knowledge base. So that's something new. And I'm really thankful for these meetings because they enrich me in an unexpected way. So thank you very much for that.
That's a KPI, Anton.
Yeah. So the new unexpected knowledge gained on every meeting, we can make a vote, etc. So for me, it would be every time 10 out of 10 because I totally don't expect, even knowing the topics of the presentations, I can't guess what exactly would I knew after the presentation. So thank you, Natalia, again for that. Let's populate that. And now that we have Evgenia, thanks to Khalid as well, probably we can speed up this process because I had this dream of making the summary of each of our meetings, but I just didn't have enough time to do that. And currently with Evgenia probably will manage and post those things in the nearest day or two so that while it's still fresh in our minds and we can really make some promotion out of it. So Evgenia, do you think there's any other agenda points except for us two?
Well, I'm the only one left to do the self-presentation, but to be honest with you, it's not structured the way that previous ones were structured, as I have not thought that much about my individual sustainable development plan yet. So I would postpone that for the next meeting, and I need to think about it, and I need to apply that knowledge and those examples that I saw today to my own situation. But just a short remark, I only have time until 8. And actually, if we finish sooner, then it will be even better, even though I enjoy it so much and I'm very happy to be here. And as Anton mentioned, you probably expect to be enriched with new knowledge, but you don't expect that it will be so great. That's my personal vibe and my personal kind of like impression of this meeting. So I will share the screen and just introduce me briefly from the point of view of my expertise and my past and what I've been doing with the short presentation. So the thing is that my Zoom says Eva, but I'm Evgenia, and Eva is just a shorter version, and it's more convenient from my international friends. And from my experience, they remember it better generally. So who I am, you can see here the logo of the company I used to work for, and I am holding the sign that says I can't keep calm. I've been chosen for Chevening. For those of you who don't know, Chevening is a scholarship of UK government that allows you to study for a year in any chosen university of UK. And I went to Kingston University and finished it in 2020. But my first degree is in linguistics. I am marketeer or marketing specialist, and I studied in Kingston University of London, in London campus, because there is a Russian campus. They have a partnership with a university called RANHIX or ANIPA. So I was the one who enjoyed actually living in London, staying in London and studying there. And I got my MBA degree from there. As for sectors, I worked in aviation and in FMCG. I would say that retail is my key competence area, but after that I worked in consultancy and in education as well. And basically what I do is international sales, international marketing, and thus intercultural communication as well. So marketing management and international sales, that's what I do. That's actually the skills. And I like to think that I can speak German and Spanish, but to be honest with you, they are degrees from linguistics past, and I think that they are archived, especially German. But I love Spanish, and when you guys were saying something in Spanish, it just sparkled up all those memories. It's my favorite language in the world. In terms of what I can give and what interests me and what excites me, basically I believe in communities, and that's why I got interested in this sort of, I wouldn't even call it a job, I would call it a mission, developing this community, because I actually like developing communities and I have experience in doing this. Chevening is an international community and I'm a part of this. And this was actually first time I understood the power of communities. Well, there is like a metaphorical negative word, sect. That's probably it. And I understood it when I was traveling in Scotland. And basically I just posted in our like group that I'm in Scotland, and all of a sudden I had people interested in meeting me, discussing something taking me out for dinner. Suddenly I didn't even need an Airbnb anymore because people actually wanted to host me. And this is a community that, like somebody said, I think it was Lev today, that it's incredible value when you can talk to like-minded individuals and become close with them and become friends with them and maybe like launch projects with them. This is exactly what happened. So all of a sudden, like in 2 hours, you've got a group of friends in a place where you've never been before, and you know that they are kind of like pre-selected for you. So that's the power of community. That's something that excites me, and I am a member of a number of them. So Chevening is an international community. It's like over 50,000 people who study in the UK in different spheres. Kingston, of course, itself also quite international. And I happened to work in Skolkovo as well. So this is a Russian community of entrepreneurs predominantly, but also top managers. So it's like a very good resource. If I am looking for something, then usually these are the place to go to, you know, get whatever you want. Why I'm interested in sustainability and ESG? It happened actually, you saw in my profile that I have experience in aviation and then suddenly FMCG. And I was telling this story to Anton that I was working for company producing helicopters, military helicopters as well. And at some point I just decided that I'm not doing the right thing. And I studied marketing in Higher School of Economics. Oh, that is also a separate community. I decided to go to water filtration, to business that is actually concerned about water resources, about a scarcity of water on our planet and preserving water and generally ecology and plastic fighting. Fighting plastic bottles and making the world conscious of those problems and sustainable lifestyle well-being. So this was the time when all those concepts and all those ideas jumped into my world, and I enjoyed it. And I understood also that sustainability is not only about ecology, it's also about communication, so also about organizational culture, how people communicate with each other. And I was lucky enough to be working with amazing professionals, individuals who are concerned and like naturally, not even maybe knowing the theoretical basis of sustainability, but are concerned on like living the right way and making the world a better place, ideas like this. So I got infected with this. And then we had a course, Responsible Management in MBA, and this is where I actually studied what sustainability effectively is in the modern world. And that like is the point where I decided that I need to, know more about it and talk more about it and get to know people who are also interested in these topics. And this is also the reason why I'm here and why I got excited and interested to get to know all of you. Startups, of course, specifically impact related startups or ESG also related, but tech startups, anything that is new innovation, it's just something that interests me. And like I said, community management. So in terms of what I can give, going back to the communities, well, basically network, I guess. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But in the modern world, when you've got like tens of chats and you can, I don't know, post something there, you are just doomed to find whatever you're looking for. And this helped me several times. So I guess this is what I can use to help other people and to give them what they want. So what I guess that is it about myself. It was quite a short presentation. Oh, sorry, yeah, I forgot. The company I'm currently working for is also sustainability related. It's called Zion, and it's innovative food for plants. It's like a supplement, which of course sounds like it's a fertilizer, but it's not. It's supplement that is based on ion exchange. There's like a separate slide with a lot of chemistry, cations, anions, nitrogen, and stuff like this. But if to put it simple, it's just something that does not pollute environment or burn the roots of the plants, or does not poison, I don't know, pets or people or whatever, air, water. Is just very healthy, organic, and it's made from natural mineral, and it's patented. It's innovative. That's why I get so excited about it. And why you see those pictures on the screen, the most interesting thing is that it can turn sand into soil, into fertile soil. So if you just add 10% of the volume, then you can grow what you see. This is near Dubai. This is the experiment that was finished in 2022 when we were trying to grow different crops on sand, pure sand, nothing else. Like you don't add anything, you just add Zion, and we managed to grow watermelons, melons, cucumbers, tomatoes, and a bunch of other crops. So now I'm working with Middle East, and being international business developer, this is my task to build those bridges. And there's like a lot of exciting tasks. It's not easy, of course, at the moment with the current situation to launch anything internationally. But we'll get there, I'm sure. So this is also something global, and something that I believe can change the future of modern agriculture, because agriculture uses a lot of fertilizers. Not all of them are safe, not all of them are sustainable, but the world is, these are like United Nations level problems. The world is facing lack of food, and there are lots of regions where people are unable to grow anything because soil fertility is lost and soils are depleted. So the global task of Zion is to help restore soil fertility. Basically, sand is depleted soil. So it used to be soil at some point, but then all the nutrients were washed out or just disappeared or used by plants, and recultivating of that soil is something that Zion is capable of doing. So that's why we've got projects not only in Middle East, but also in countries which basically have fertile soil, but some of the regions, for example, have soil that is depleted. As an example is Uzbekistan. In Soviet Union, they were planting a lot of cotton, and cotton basically killed 60% of their soil. So soil lost fertility. And we have the project with Uzbekistan. I'm not working with it, I just know about it. It's like CIS countries, a separate person is managing that, but that's something that they're trying to mend in Uzbekistan. And another project that is quite exciting is planting trees. Many countries have projects for planting more trees. The biggest is in Saudi Arabia. They have Greening Arabia, where they're planning to plant 10 billion trees by 2035, and we had a meeting with them as well. And turns out that yeah, like they want to plant those trees, but those trees are not going to grow for two reasons. Reason number one, because they don't have they do have fertile soil, but like they're basically adding fertilizers, and it's not very sustainable. And number two, water, of course. So we are the guys, we're now thinking on the solution, how to combine Zion in something that would retain water. And it's not an easy task. So we're working with agricultural engineers to find the solution to this problem. And basically, if you think about it, it's what it's called terraformation. Yeah, it's turning uninhabited soil that was never used for agriculture into something that can be used for either growing trees, just turning it into a forest, or for growing crops and growing something that people can eat. So these are my areas of expertise, of interest, and the current projects I'm working on. Yeah, that is all. You can see my contacts. Feel free to add me in social media. Social media is king. And I think that me and Anton will discuss how to use it more effectively to develop community as well. I'm in Facebook and in LinkedIn only, and my phone is there as well. So WhatsApp and Telegram. If you have any questions or suggestions, or you just want to say hi, feel free to drop a line. I will be happy. That's all about myself.
Yeah, you can add your contacts to the chat, and by default we can write you in Telegram, right? So it's the easiest way, and then learn some other contacts. So yeah, by the way, Evgeny, thank you very much again for describing in a little bit more detail, although you've already told me about this project. And I think a couple of things where I can help. And well, first of all, I have a colleague, former colleague, who used to work for Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. And I suppose that she's kind of an expert in those kind of things. So this is that way, not obligatory, but probably it would be beneficial for both of you to connect. And second thing is that I think there is a growing, I'm sure there is a growing community. They call it like global Russians or Russian citizens, Russian speaking people in MENA region, Middle East and Northern Africa. And I know at least 3 startups that have already launched since you know what in Saudi Arabia or United Arab Emirates or something, some like Bahrain, Qatar, like somewhere there. Since they've coped with this task, I'm sure they can share their experience and probably even some startup community investors, clients that are interested in sustainable development as well. And yeah, probably you can even think of doing something together. So yeah, they're very interesting and very demanded technology, considering all the problems we're facing with the climate. So thank you for doing this, and good luck. And we will be eager to help with anything we can to accomplish this project. So thank you for your self-presentation. Thank you for being with us and helping us with the club. Any other comments, questions to Evgenia? Okay, so probably let's overall call it a day for today.
Mm-hmm.
I think we had a lot of interesting presentations to digest, and let's continue. Of course, we've even pointed out some specific presentations we could continue with the next time, right? Including probably myself with the individual development plan, as well as the new project that we call Utopia. Probably it would be interesting for some of you to participate in, especially because it would be in Russian. So a little bit to ease the burden, but there is some argumentation for that. There is some sound, I hope, argumentation for that, at least partially. So any final closing remarks, thoughts, ideas, questions, feedback for today?
You said, Eva, I will be managed to make my ISDP.
If
I
you
can share it.
go ahead, great. Yeah, great.
No, it's just for fun. Okay, you don't mind?
So currently for fun, and the next time for serious.
Yes, okay. is like, you know, a question mostly for you, why you changed the template. So it was easier to me to, it's still easier to me to think in these parts of life that are quite famous for everyone. So it will be like next time, it will be like some kind of work, wealth.
Like a teaser, a trailer, ISDP presentation next time.
Yeah. Yes. So, but some parts are already almost ready, like health, for example. So friends, family, spiritually. So it's like kind of challenge. I think I should make it in when I'll be 40. It's hard. Self-development. Yes, and I will just divide it like give and take. Yes, thanks. And I always was inspired about Anton's ability to simplify complicated things, and so it's a kind of evolution of Anton's ISDP template. It was in 2002, 2022. Here is for 2023 is 2024 and then 2025, and it will be like this, something like this, you know. Just everything transcendental.
I was never able to look at myself from the side, you know, so. Yeah, you're absolutely right. But you see, that's a challenge, really. So as probably I've already told sometimes, it's really harder to say something in simple words than it is to say it in a lot of words. It's really very complex. That's why we've come from 50 pages slide deck to 3 pages code, because it was a challenge and it was a path, a journey to really be succinct. And yeah, we're still in the process, and thank you for helping to do so. But yeah, so really all the documents of the club, including this ISDP template, I hope it is as easy and simple as it could be, and therefore as accessible to everybody, you know, this Pareto rule. So we keep it simple with 2 slides, but probably we are able to show there 80% of what we're going to do. And there is probably no need to show 100% and spend like 10 hours more on this, because it would be too detailed, even for yourself, not saying about others, because it would be harder and longer to digest it, right? So for the sake of it being transferable, communicable, and digestible for everybody, let's keep it simple, let's keep it really short. And therefore it would be efficient for everybody, because everybody would know your goals. So yeah, thank you for this you know, teaser. I will try to fulfill your vision in the next 3 years. And yeah, so again, any feedback overall for today's session that we had?
Well, I would like to say, Anton, that this community is it's like a surprise for me, a positive surprise, because I can see that it's very, we have all different, we all have different history, our personal life, and we're all different, but it's like a miracle that you create this community, and it's very great that if we can, how to say, make more powerful this community, it will be like a wow effect in the future for all of us, and for our business friends, family, because I think it's a great job. So I'm very happy that I'm part of it, and I'm really happy to see you all guys, if I can say guys or girls. I know it's correct or not, but yeah, I'm really happy to be part of it. And thank you so much again, Anton, that you create such a great hub to meet each other time to time and to share a lot of interesting and powerful information. We are like a knives, you know, we can be more sharper together in a positive way, of course. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, so and thank you very much for this feedback. Very inspiring. That's why we do this basically for all of us. So and probably next time we would spend some time to together discuss and shape how we can develop this thing together, because in a way it would be very organic and natural and beneficial for all of us. So it actually is like basically like a synergy. So let's discuss it the next time. We have some ideas with Evgenia. We're going to discuss them, one-on-one and try to put it on paper and probably even try to pilot some things, how really to experiment with the format and make it even more appealing, even more engaging, even more fruitful, and of course, increase the number of people, not because that's an end in itself. I want to be very clear. I have no intention just to increase the numbers and the figures. I think there is no point in that, actually. So, but probably if we have even more like-minded people, and I would emphasize that they are like-minded, so no way we're just going to dilute this precious like-mindedness for the sake of increasing the number of people. So no way. The quality is #1 priority here, and it always will be. So, but probably we can increase this number with, even increasing the quality somehow. We're going to understand how to quantify that, but still, at least for ourselves. So again, any other thank you for the feedback. Any other feedback, comments, suggestions, probably?
Just enormous gratitude to you for bringing all those fantastic people together and giving them the platform to share their ideas and exchange their energies.
Yes, thank you for helping to arrange this meeting and the future ones as well.
Yes,
Okay.
I have the same comment. As I shared at the beginning, my mood was on 7 and now it's on 10. So thank you very much for this. It was a very long meeting, but I don't feel exhausted after it. Actually, I feel energized. So I think it's the main point of these kind of communities and these meetings, to make you energized, enthusiastic, and optimistic about future and your development and development of the planet and society.
Hearing that from the introvert is even more precious. So yeah, and that's the goal in itself, like therapeutic effect that these meetings have, apart from like pure knowledge, connections and tangible outcomes. The meeting in itself is energizing, and yeah, improving the mood, making 10 out of 10, and therefore inspiring and enabling you to make even more impacts to the world, at least for a couple of days after this meeting. So I hope so. Thank you for this feedback as well.
Okay, then have a great what it is, Saturday day or Saturday evening, depending on whereabouts you are.
Rest of the week. Yeah, thank you, everybody. See you next time. Let's keep connecting and chatting in the chat. And yeah, we with Evgenia will send you some kind of next steps, questions, questionnaires, and resumes or summaries. And yeah, please be proactive, be responsive. Yeah, so don't be shy. Feel free to suggest anything. Feel at home, like Ruslan said, in Cyprus. So probably this, for me, this virtual country is where I feel at home. because I'm within like-minded people. For me, this is the home. Probably even I can name it a family. But probably let's keep it for the next meeting. Okay, thank you.
Can we make a guys, can we make a photo of all of us? Just like who?
I've just made it.
You just made it. My God.
But,
For
we
sure,
should-
somebody has the eyes closed, Anton.
yeah. Just a,
see that you have your eyes open. Okay, I have made 5.
okay.
Great. Make sure you share them with me. That's a powerful marketing tool. Thank you for suggestion. Yeah, great. Okay, see you later.
When there are more people. Okay.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
You live long and prosper. Bye.
Hi.